What is up, friends? My name is Laura. If you've never visited my YouTube channel before, welcome. Today I am going to be sharing with you my 5 steps to get a high-paying online job right from Craigslist. Last week in my previous video, I was talking about different places that you can go to get those high-paying at-home jobs, and Craigslist is one of them. And people reached out how exactly you would find that high-paying online job from Craigslist. So I'm here to share with you exactly how I got this. I'll link all of my previous videos below so you can check them out. But one of the ways that I did say I get my clients is actually from Craigslist. A lot of people are kind of surprised by this. They didn't realize that there were high-paying jobs or even legitimate jobs at all on there, and I'm here to share with you exactly how you can find them and how you can spot those scams or not scams at all. So the very first step is to actually go onto Craigslist. So I'm going to give you an example since I live in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So I'm actually going to go onto Phoenix Craigslist. Now, for most cities, all larger cities and then some smaller cities, within every single state, there will be their very own Craigslist. There also will be a section at the very bottom in every job category for jobs that are similar but not in that exact area. So you can also make sure to be checking there. But the very first step is to go on to Craigslist. For example, like I'm saying, I'm in Phoenix, so I also might want to check out places like Tucson or Flagstaff, just because people won't be maybe applying as much there. Maybe they don't even know about something like Flagstaff. It's a little bit more northern Arizona. And since the job you're applying for is virtual, it's okay to actually check out some other cities as well, as long as it does say virtual in that title, which I'll get into later. But don't be afraid to look into some other cities. There's some that I've noticed that, you know, they're really never sharing virtual ones, but someplace like San Diego or Los Angeles, they will. The only negative is I rarely would ever get a reply from there, to be honest, just because there's so many jobs, there's so many people, it's such a big city. They're probably getting floodloads of email and applications. But there are some little cities kind of around there and surrounding it that I actually will check, and I have gotten success from that. So don't be scared to go into different places around the United States. It doesn't just need to be in your city. The second step is to go into the different categories that you'd be interested in. So think to yourself, what have you had experience in? What are some things that you would like to do from home? Most people do stuff like social media managing, writing. There's a lot of different, and I'll link it below, video that I talked about, just some excellent high-paying at-home jobs. So I'll give an example. I do a lot of social media management for my clients. So within the social media management, there's one section that says marketing/PR. There's another section that says web design. There's another section that says writing. So those are 3 that I will always look in when I go into Craigslist. There's of course a lot of other different options. There's like around 30 different categories that you can choose from, but just for the purpose of this video and what I'm an expert in, that's what I'm going to share with you. I have been doing this for a while. I can tell just from the title if that's actually even a company that, or a business or a job or anything like that I want to work with. If it has a bunch of money signs, or it says, you know, low startup cost, or flexible hours, start immediately, those kind of things, they typically tend to be a little bit more scammy. Words that start with like work at home or virtual something, those obviously are things that typically can be virtual. At a virtual position, sometimes they will still want you to be location specific. And a lot of times that's so that you know exactly, you know, maybe street names for their business or how to actually say a city's name or anything like that. So I definitely would still recommend you looking at the titles before even opening it. Just do a quick scan. And like I say, depending what area you actually are in, will depend how many are coming up either daily or weekly. The third step is actually reaching out to these companies. So if you see something that says working at home, virtual, or remote work, anything like that, and that will also say it in the area, it'll either say it in the title within the context of the actual job, or it'll say it off to the side like telecommuting okay. So once you actually see that and that is of interest, it's time to actually reach out to them. So I personally have a bit of a template that I use depending what kind of job it is. If it's a job for specifically social media, my resume and my actual email over to them will be very social media specific. I will have one for copywriting. I will have one for blog writing. And those, they're very, generic, but they do highlight kind of my skill set, how long I've been doing this for, what my educational experience is, and why I think I would be an asset to that job. I've always tried to switch my email around a little bit just so that I can be specific to the job. For example, if they say they want a minimum of 5 years or something like that of experience, I will make sure to say, I do have a minimum of 5 years. I actually have 7 years, or whatever I want to say there, just so that it also shows that I did take the time to read and I'm replying. So make sure that you do that and you kind of have some preset. As well, you're going to want to attach some examples of your work. If you can show some examples, that is always a plus because they probably are going to reply asking for examples and you are already one step ahead of them. They also will probably want your resume. A lot of contractors don't necessarily have a resume. They will have kind of an online portfolio. I personally still have a resume. I still always attach my resume. It just kind of will show all of the previous work because I've not just been a contractor. I had, regular 9-to-5 jobs for a couple of years. So I also want to showcase them. So I always include a resume as well as things that I've done and things that I can show them that have my name on it. When it comes to your resume and the text within the body of the email, make sure that you've gone through it like 10 times to see that there are no typos. And if you have a friend that's great, with writing or English, or, your spouses or just someone to look over it just to make sure it's picture perfect and there are no mistakes throughout it. Sometimes when you're writing it yourself, you just don't notice that you're just always skimming over the exact same mistake. So I highly recommend, before this ever goes out to anyone, to just have some sort of trusted friend or family member that is able to look over your email as well as your resume. And they don't need to do that every time because, like I'm saying, you're basically recycling things that you've already written out to people. My fourth step is going back to actually looking at the post itself, making sure that you are not missing anything within the post. A lot of times companies will be wanting you to be paying attention and looking for that attention to detail, especially if it's something like writing. So a lot of companies will try to throw this in. So they want your subject to say something specific, or they want you to include randomly your favorite color or anything like that. So before you even send it, I always make sure you're not missing anything that they could be asking for. Maybe you always just include 2 examples and they're asking for 3 to 5. Well, you want to quickly find one more that you're able to throw in there just so that you really are proving to them that you read exactly what they're looking for and you can be trusted and you pay attention to detail. If you are new to my channel, I would love to hear if you do remote work or if you are looking to do some in the future. If you are, let me know in the comments below and I would love to either help you out by doing a video specifically for that or just replying to any questions that you have. So if you are doing any remote work, let me know. The fifth and final tip I have for getting that high-paying job off of Craigslist is just going back on a regular basis. So many people do check it all the time, and I've gone on there and I had not actually been on for a couple weeks, and I'm like, oh, that job looks perfect, but I'm sure they have someone because that actually was posted 2 or 3 weeks ago. So even if you are busy and you basically, you have 4 clients or anything like that, and they're all contract jobs, don't be afraid just to check it for 3 minutes every single morning. You don't know what's going to be posted on there. Maybe it's double the pay that you're getting and that's something that you'd be interested in. Maybe it's something that you would love to be doing for a career and right now you're just kind of doing this other thing just to, pay the bills. So make sure that you're checking on there on a regular basis. You're so much more likely to get a call back or a follow-up email if you're applying in a very timely manner. That's why now I always recommend just quickly at the beginning of every morning when you're about to start work, just hop on there really quick. Any Craigslist sites that you are interested in, click on those categories real quick, just do a scan. You'll probably recognize the last one, so it will only take a couple seconds. And if there's one, then you can apply. And then you are one of the first people to actually apply for it. I hope that these steps did help you. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming to especially get started with any kind of at-home job or online job, but I am here to hopefully make it a lot easier for you as I have been doing this for over 6 years now. So I hope that did help. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will see you next time, guys. Keep living life. Bye.